Hello, Year 3. Today we're thinking about how we can build on our grouping skills from yesterday so as to enable us to understand how best to divide by 2. Mr. Spring struggling to read numbers there. Sorry, guys. Bad start. Divide by 2. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to work through some slides together. At the end of that, you'll have your worksheet to complete. So to begin with, some simple calculations for you to do. So 5 times 2. 2 times 11, 9 times 2, 2 times 8. The second set of calculations, you've got to circle any multiples, so any numbers which are in the 2 times table. And then the third calculation, you've got the array, and you've got to see how many groups of 2 there are there. So if you can work through those quickly and pause the video while you do it. Okay, working through those multiples of 2 for the first question, so 10, 22, 18, and 16. The correct multiples of 2 were 24, 6, 10, and 20. We noticed that the odd values in the ones column, so 5, 5, and 3, tell us that those were not multiples of 2. And then our array question, we can see there were 5 groups of 2 there. Okay, so well done if you've worked through those. Okay, so a bit of learning now. We've got some children who are playing a game. They need to get into 2 equal teams. Okay, the first thing we need to do is work out how many will be in each team. Okay, so if they have 2 equal teams, we split them into 2 groups, and each team will have 4. So we can see there's 2 equal teams, so it's nice and fair. Okay, 4 children in each team. Okay, again here, we're not going to get into 2 equal groups, but we're going to get into groups of 2 for the game that we're playing now. So we've got to identify how many pairs will be. So if we count that there are in total there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 children, and we can see they split into 4 groups of 2, so 4 pairs. Okay, 4 pairs of children. Okay, so this is sharing. Okay, and where there was sharing, there were 4 children in each team. And the alternative way of sorting the values is by grouping. So where we had two in each team, and there were 4 groups of 2. Okay, so 4 pairs of children. Okay, but here we've got 12 flowers. The flowers are shared equally between 2 pots. Okay, and then the pots, secondly, are going to be grouped into pots of 2. Okay, so if we've got 12 flowers shared between the 2 pots, how many do you think will be in each pot? And for the second part of the question, if each pot has got 2 flowers in, how many pots would there need to be? Okay, so we've got sharing and grouping. Have a think, pause the video and think about the number sentences. Okay, moving on then, we can see now that what we've got here is if there's 2 equal pots, then we would share them. Try to bash through these flowers. They're very slow moving flowers, but we can see as we work through these that each flower pot ends up not with 5 but with 6. So we can work out that 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay, then here we've got our flowers again, and each pot will just take a group of 2. So 1 pot with 2, another pot with 2, another pot with 2, another pot with 2, another pot with 2. Very lucky person with all these flowers in pots. And finally, another pot with 2. Okay, and we end up there with 12 divided by 2 is 6, so 6 pots with 2 in each. Okay, if we had 13 flowers and the flowers were shared equally between the 2 pots, what do we think would happen? Have a think about that. And if they were in groups of 2, what would happen? We look here now. Again, we've got 6 in each pot, but we end up with that magical flower left over because it's an odd number. The odd value, a number that's not in the 2 times table, in the ones column, the 3 there, tells us that we can't split 13 equally between 2 pots. Okay, it's an odd value. Okay, and if we've got those 2 in each pot, again, we end up with 1 remaining flower, so 1 flower left over at the end. Okay, here we've got some groups of flowers. Which ones could be left into 2, which could be divided into 2 with no flowers left over? So first of all, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flowers. Secondly, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flowers. And finally, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flowers. There's one of these groups which we can split, 2 that we can't. Can you see if you can think about which one's which? Okay, and our flower pots are helping us, and we can see that the middle group is the only one we can correctly complete. Okay, so have a look at your worksheet now. Try and complete questions 1 to 3. Okay. And then additionally, a little bit of skill space for you here. We've got 16 divided by 2. So again, we're jumping along. You don't need to jump. Maybe you fancy doing a bit of P and jumping along at home. Think about that 2 times table. 16 divided by 2, jumps of 2, then to 4, 6, to 8, to 10, to 12, to 14, and to 16. And so we see that we've got 8 jumps, and therefore the 16 divided by 2 is 8. And here we've got our number line again to help us where we can go back to understand that skill as well. That either way along the number line, this 8 jumps are the same value to 16. If we've got a value which we divide by 2 to make 12, what we can think about is how the inverse operation works. If we were looking at an inverse operation for subtract, we would add. An inverse operation for divide is multiply, so we need to do 2 multiplied by 12. Okay, and that value therefore is 24. Okay. So here, what we do? Have a think. We know that we do the inverse. The inverse to divide is great. You're all saying takeaway. Sorry, no, you're not. You're all saying multiply. So we do 2 times 10, and we end up therefore with 20. Okay, have a go at the rest of the worksheet. Well done for listening to today. I look forward to seeing all your completed worksheets scanned in, sent through. Keep going, guys. Well done.